One of the biggest life transformations of my life was my divorce. I didn't know that time what I was doing is actually healing myself with the song. But then I realized it's not just for me. I can teach to others as well.
Can you tell me more about your method?
So the method is called Sing Yourself to Freedom. And in my world, singing is for everyone.
How have you met Gabor Mate?
I would say it's a long-term friendship.
You're a singer.
Yeah.
Can we hear something from
Oh,
you?
yeah, with pleasure.
What meaning has it to you?
I feel that we touched so many deep layers of me. Many times when you are in the darkest place of your life, that's where you create gold.
Welcome to the Living a Life in Balance podcast. My name is Abdullah Boulad. I'm the founder and CEO of the Balance Rehab Clinic. My guest today is Bea Palya, celebrated Hungarian folk singer, somatic voice therapist, and creator of over 25 albums and 600 songs. In this episode, Bea shares how she rebuilt her life through music after divorce, using voice as a tool for healing, expression, and reclaiming sexuality, and what it means to parent a child through adolescence with trust and release. Bea speaks about her 15-year friendship with Dr. Gabor Mate, how she navigates life as a celebrity, and performs her favorite song for us. I hope you'll enjoy. Bea, what motivated you to do what you do today?
So at the age of 6, I got to the folk group of my village who kept the tradition alive. So it was singing and dancing all day long. And so for me, it was natural to be together with people, touching each other's bodies and moving together rhythmically and singing together. So the reason I emphasize this ritual part is because I think it's deeply shaped my way of thinking and also my method. So I really think that those rituals and this togetherness, this natural connectedness is part of what I do today. But then so I got a member of the Queendom of the Folk Songs, so if I may say that. So this was just, invited me and got me in, and I became, you know, someone who spent hours and hours to learn folk songs and the gesture of folk dance. By the age of, I don't know, 20, I got like maybe more hundreds, if not thousands of folk songs in me. And so I knew that in one of my first life transition, which is my first breakup at the age of 21,
Wow.
I remember sitting at a wall of a castle. I just gave a concert as a singer. But then I was so heartbroken that I felt I need to do something. So what I did, and the rain started to fall, and the raindrops and my tears became one on my face. And so you know what I did? I took a paper and I started to write all these beautiful Hungarian folk songs, very beautifully wording about who is heartbroken, what does she feel. So as I was writing, first just writing, and then I started to sing those. Jól esik a bús szívnek, hogyha panaszkodik. So as I was singing more and more, what I realized is that my attention has shifted to the next line. What's the next line? How is the next musical gesture? What's the next ornament? So what I did, without really knowing it, is that I created a healthy distance between my broken heart and of what I did. And so with time, because I spent like an hour doing that, rain, it was a very beautiful movie image, I realized that something has lighter in my chest. My breath is deeper again. I was so much into the song again. So I didn't know that time back, but now I know that what I was doing is actually healing myself with the song, because of course, everybody once in or more times was heartbroken in her life. So I thought it's just me. But then there was this song. So it led me towards something more important, which is the song itself
Yeah.
and this tested wisdom in this folk song that went through so many souls. So it's I just say this story because it was a very important stone in my journey to know the healing power of song. I stayed in this folk milieu for another decade, but I
Yeah.
started to sing other cultures' music like Bulgarian, Gypsy. I'm partly Gypsy also, so Hungarian, Bulgarian, Jewish, Yiddish, and Sephardic songs. A little bit of Arabic songs too, French chanson. So many kind of songs and cultures. And then I realized when I came back that Hungarian folk songs are beautiful and it's it has a lot of wisdom, but then I wanted to put my life into it. I wanted to talk about, well, my boyfriend didn't go to the army, but I live in a long distance relationship. Guess what? It's the same thing. He's
Yes.
far. So I have to do something. So I started to write things like my actual modern life. So I put the lyrics first just to an old melody, but with the years, I also started to create the melodies. But this is the part of the songwriting. But what happened is that more and more I wrote about my own transformation in the songs. More and more I got the feedback from my people like, hey, listening to your songs gave me like 5 years of therapy. Or I have severe panic attacks and depression, and the only way I could go through is through your albums,
Yes.
listening them in loop. So I said, maybe I do something more than just singing well and writing good songs. There is a healing potential in it. So other decade forward, I created a method, which was sing yourself to freedom. Because coming back to your original question, what was the motivation? I healed myself with the songs and the power of songwriting. But then I realized it's not just for me. If I can write down what I do,
Yes.
then I can teach to others as well. So that's how I do what I do today. I kept my singing career and singing path, but I became a teacher and the founder of the Sing Yourself to Freedom method. And I'm so happy because I see people really getting the deep transformation they have as an aspiration.
Beautiful. Thank you for
Yeah,
sharing that.
yeah, thank you.
I mean, many growing up little children would admire becoming a singer, a dancer.
Yeah.
You made it.
Yes, also that part. Thank you so much. And I did made it, and I have a one sentence, my origin story in one sense that half gypsy from a tiny Hungarian village. I sung myself into Carnegie Hall. So now you see the journey, which is true. But this is just one part of what I
Yes.
do. I think the healing and the transformation for people is just as important as the being on stage thing, because somehow I got back to my original state of this communality, like what I said, like moving together to a rhythm or just
Yes.
touching each other so naturally in a dance or singing together. So what I do today is basically that. Like I make people sing, I make people discover their own voice and their own voice, not just in a metaphorical, but
Yes.
in a physical sense too. So then we become closer as humans.
Do you think something is special about folkloric music, and what's the power in it?
I love this question. You know why? Because I believe, and I only believe, in tested wisdom. And folk songs are like been through of many thousands and hundred thousands of
Yeah.
souls. Many people sang them. And so it became sharpened, heightened somehow. So also melodically, but also lyric-wise. And so it was very interesting when I made my program together that it has 4 pillars. I can tell you tell more later. But like I felt like for each theory part, there is like, I don't
Mm.
know, hundreds of songs I can
Mhm.
put. So actually I did, not hundreds, but at
Yeah.
least, I don't know, some, which is kind of like give another perspective or
Mhm.
gives a confirmation of the message,
Mhm.
what I teach in the theory. So, and also there is the part that it has lightness, because
Mhm.
once you do the singing, it moves another part of your brain and other parts
Mm.
in your body. So it's not just your prefrontal cortex that works,
Yes.
but also become the whole body is involved,
Mhm.
and all the guts are moving. So a lot of
Mhm.
emotion comes. In a minute, I just asked you about the
Mhm.
songs, and
Mhm.
then we were talking about one of your singer that probably you've been listening to as a child, and you got emotional. I could
Mhm.
feel on your face, like, oh, So it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, I think music is something emotional. It can give a lot of power to someone. Certainly to me as well. When I do sport, for example, this morning I went to the gym and was for a run. I like to listen to music. It gives me directly energy, without maybe knowing what exactly happens in my
Yeah.
body. But if I listen to something I like, it gives me energy.
This reminds me of my own definition of song, which is song has a life-changing potential
Hmm.
because the lyrics goes to the mind, but the physical resonance, the part, or the rhythm boom boom,
Hmm.
goes into the guts. So it makes the body move, makes the
Hmm.
soul awaken, and hey,
Yeah.
go and grow and open yourself. So it can
Hmm.
change lives.
Yes.
It literally changed mine and my
Hmm.
students and my people.
If we go back to what you mentioned, you had at the age of 21, very early, a divorce
Oh no, not
and
it was a
a
separation from my
separation. Okay, a
separation from my
separation
boyfriend. Yeah,
from
yeah.
from your partner. And um, how did music help you
Mm.
through, let's say, all the emotional feelings life
Yeah,
has brought to you?
yeah. But I don't know intuitively, or you knew about me, but I was divorced later, so
Mm.
and the reason I bring it up, because it can be also a taboo topic, and
Mm.
also because you're asking how music helped me to heal, and one of the biggest life transformations of my life was my divorce,
Hmm.
and that's where I really felt that music and songwriting itself
Hmm.
is the key to heal. So what happens is that I really went to the bottom, like
Mm.
pain, pain, pain. And my children were relatively young.
Hmm.
But what I did is I felt is the only light in this dark place was writing and singing about it somehow.
Hmm.
And the more I did, again, my broken heart left behind a little bit, because
Hmm.
I started to develop some of the songs for that album, which is called Homecoming, Hazatalálok in Hungarian, which became masterpieces.
Hmm.
And many times when you are in the darkest place of your life, that's where you create gold.
Yes.
So uh, it's 11 songs, if it's about my divorce, and a lot of aspects, like how to talk to the children, how to
Hmm.
be grateful for my partner, and many,
Hmm.
many other aspects. But what was more interesting, that this song became anthems for any kind of rebirth
Hmm.
for my community. And that's the main thing. So
Hmm.
first, I was already knowing somehow that what I do is not just about me.
Hmm.
But then in this life transformation of my life, I really could feel that what I create as a medicine for
Hmm.
my own healing is not just for me, it's for my people.
Yeah.
And since ever, I know, my divorce is behind
Yeah.
my,
Yeah.
I have other challenges now, but the songs are still there.
Hmm.
So whoever wants to have some help in a difficult situation, she can listen to the song
Yeah.
and she can go back to this deep somehow. Well, Leonard Cohen said that if a song has a spiritual center,
Hmm.
then the song will be very good. And so I think this song have a very good
Hmm.
spiritual center or
Mm.
meaningful, motivation to be born. So people feel that
Mhm.
people are beautiful human being of
Yeah.
feeling heart with feeling hearts and open God, so they feel that.
It's all about the energy and emotion you have
Yeah,
put into
yeah,
it,
yeah, yeah,
and that's what people feel most likely.
yeah.
How has your work been since then? What have you been doing?
This was already my, I don't know how many albums altogether. I have 25, 600
Mm-hmm.
songs.
Wow.
So since, well, another transformation, which was very interesting, COVID went from one day to another.
Mm-hmm.
I lost the job I had as a singer.
Mm-hmm.
I had already an online course about creativity, but again, I went to the bottom, not in this sense like in my divorce, but COVID somehow pushed me to really give my other
Mm.
wisdom to the world, which is sing yourself to freedom method. So
Yeah.
actually, COVID was the year when I started to develop deeply the curriculum of the Sing Yourself to Freedom program.
Mm-hmm.
And well, it was challenging because first I needed to figure out how to teach voice work through the online world,
Mm.
what to do, what works, what doesn't work. So it was a classical testing,
Mm-hmm.
iterating, asking for feedback, testing again.
Mm-hmm.
So it was challenging some years. But then for now, uh, what I have is I have a method and I have this program and I
Mm-hmm.
have teachers that I trained.
Mm-hmm.
And the transformation is way beyond in their lives what I could
Yeah.
imagine before, way beyond of that. I needed to imagine the unimaginable,
Mm-hmm.
going to the non-Hungarian world and bringing my wisdom in English to people from other cultures. So I needed to work with other songs
Mm-hmm.
or like imagine myself really being the singer and being the teacher and the mother at the same time. So it was also partly, I don't know, imagination, opening of my internal world to a
Mm-hmm.
bigger one. So it was quite a
Mm-hmm.
big dose of internal work as well.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm proud of myself that I did.
Yeah. This is a mindset.
Mm,
I feel it's a mindset we can include in everyday's
yeah.
life, by accepting that something has changed
Mm,
in the first place, and then ask oneself, okay, what are my options?
mm,
Well, option one, option two, option three. I like to work with the three options, and then okay, what's my best option? Is my best option possible? Okay, I go for it. Not okay, I take the second one, and this brings someone much quicker forward by
mm,
accepting, and then check what are the options.
mm. Interesting because very true. And what came up is that, yeah, but then I see my best options, like for instance, having the program in English, Sing
Mm-hmm.
Yourself to Freedom, which I have partly. But then you know what comes in? What, because you are asking about emotions, I'm
Mm-hmm.
sure.
Mm-hmm.
Fear. And it's
Mm-hmm.
not the fear of not being successful,
Mm-hmm.
it's the other way around, fearful of being too successful.
Mm-hmm.
And this goes back to the very first question you asked
Mm-hmm.
about my background and motivation. And
Yes.
I come from far. And as a half gypsy girl, I was very marginalized. So all I
Mm-hmm.
knew is hard work and then, of course, dance and singing in the group. But then it was a relatively narrow world.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you show the three options, what's the best for me? I know it's best for me, but what if I get it?
Mm-hmm.
This is actually more gives me more fear than the
Yes.
option of not getting it or the chance of not getting it. It's so interesting because somehow it's connected to the permission of growing bigger.
Okay. Why is that so? What
Hmm.
are you afraid about when you
Hmm.
become too successful?
Yeah.
Is there something like too successful also?
I love the both sides of your question. probably is the already I'm pretty far from where I came from,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm sure it's true for you. And then the questions that come up: what happens with my
Mm-hmm.
mom, with my I don't know, with my dad? Um, it's not just the simple taking care of my parents, but also mentally and I don't know, emotionally. Can I be that far from my roots? How do I integrate them? Or will I be judged by my previous community
Mm-hmm.
if I fly there?
Mm-hmm.
So change, you cannot grow if you're full of, every tree, at least in Hungary, they fall
Mm-hmm.
down, the leaves falling down, and then
Yes.
it's empty for a while. And then next spring, it starts to bring leaves again. So for a while, you need to empty yourself. And this is also fearful sometimes because it
Mm-hmm.
means that you have to leave some people. If you have to move to other places. You have to, I don't know, friendship, partnership, it can change. So, and for a while, it's loneliness. So I have a lot of experience with growth.
Mm-hmm.
I think of myself as an expert in transformation, in finish cycle transformation,
Yes.
like someone who really made the work,
Mm-hmm.
really went through the fear, through the liminality, through the chaos. If you remember of the framework of Arnold van Gennep's about the
Yeah.
rites of passages, I'm someone who really went through these. But then maybe we are at the gateway of another one, and you
Mm-hmm.
are asking about that, and I feel in my body that is, oof, oof. It gives me a lot of
Mm-hmm.
intense physical sensations because
Mm-hmm.
probably I'm growing again, and I'm just grateful you
Mm-hmm.
asking about you are asking about this question.
So it's not just about fear what is awaiting you in the
Yeah,
future, but also about your past,
yeah,
obviously, and how you may be judged or losing your roots
yeah.
in one way.
And how do I integrate everything?
Mm-hmm.
What I have so
Mm-hmm.
far, and some of them, you just have to leave behind
Mm-hmm.
because then it's too full.
Only if you want.
Mm,
There are always you have the boundary power in your
yeah,
hand.
it's also true. But I find myself, you know, wanting so many things at a time.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm
Mm-hmm.
curious, and I'm almost
Mm-hmm.
50 and I'm still very curious of the world. I'm more curious of the
Mm-hmm.
world now, and
Mm-hmm.
landscapes, and especially nature,
Mm-hmm.
and traveling and music. Mm, but I also feel that sometimes my
Yeah.
baggage is too full. So
Mm-hmm.
you're right, I can set pretty
Mm-hmm.
much good boundaries now.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just, it's a dialogue between me and myself,
Yes.
like how curious I am.
It is a dance.
Yeah.
To say it in a creative way.
Yeah, and also it's like a
Mm-hmm.
rope dancer or like juggling with,
Yes. Yeah.
different
Mm.
options and
It's
life territories.
every step we do brings new challenges.
Yes. And
Probably.
it's never ending.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Can you tell me more about your method? You
Hmm.
mentioned your method. You teach,
Yeah.
you train. What does it entail? What
Hmm.
are the pillars
Hmm. Hmm.
you touched on a
Hmm.
bit?
Yeah. So the method is called Sing Yourself to Freedom. And already these words, to find out what is it
Mm,
at the core of what I do, it was a year long thinking process,
mhm,
because I could name it Sing More Freely or something like that, but
mhm,
it's not about the singing. It's kind of uh you know uh a side effect that we
mhm,
sing better,
mhm,
but it's not at the core of the mission. The mission is to experience on a physical level
mm,
this freedom. When you say, ah, so this,
mm,
when you're joined, and I feel in the room that also the people
mhm,
behind the camera just,
mhm,
maybe
mhm,
taking a deepened breath, or, you're smiling, your
mhm,
eyes is changing, your shoulders are maybe more loose. So it's
mhm.
music does that, sounding out
Yeah.
does that. If you imagine hugging someone
Mm.
just like that, or like,
Mm.
you
Yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah.
it's much more joy with
Mm.
with sounding out. So, in the core
Mm.
of my method is how to free yourself in a physical and an emotional level
Mhm.
with the help of your own sound.
Yes.
And I find just the conversations I had in the last 2 days, I find that we are still somehow blind walking about
Mm.
that. Like either we just think of the voice as a tool to convey message from head
Mhm.
to head when we
Mhm.
talk. Either we think of singing as a performing art,
Yeah.
which is just a hidden secretive castle of the talented ones.
Mhm.
And in my world, singing is for everyone. Everyone can sing unless they don't have an organ,
Yes.
uh,
Biologically.
biologically something is you know doesn't make this possible.
Mhm.
And second, we have one voice. It means that either we use it for singing, either we use it for speaking, but
Mhm.
it has the same root. Of course, it's a little different, but now am I singing or speaking? Do you
Mhm.
do you notice the difference? What the heck am I doing?
Mhm.
I am in between somehow. You see?
Yeah.
So, by the way, this is one core exercise in my method. I bring my clients very often
Yeah.
to this sweet spot in between singing and
Mm.
speaking. But so we have one voice,
Mhm.
and so we can play many things also when speaking. Many things we can do. I got that. I got to there later. And also, singing is for everyone. It's not
Mm.
just about technique and talent.
Yes.
The pitch you gave about your own voice before we started to
Mhm.
talk, it's very, you're so much not alone. Oh, if I sing, what was it what you said? If I sing, I'm gonna scare people away. That's what you said? Oh,
No, I meant it's a bit different. I usually sing to make my children a little bit uncomfortable, maybe.
uncomfortable. Yeah, I see.
Um, I do it just in an environment because sometimes I feel, they feel like, okay, are people judging us in a certain situation? And then I try to make them even more
I
uncomfortable.
see. So you double down on this
Exactly. And
strange
then I use
effect.
my
Yeah,
voice.
yeah, cool. I pictured that movie in my mind, and it's very funny actually.
Yeah.
Not for them maybe, but
No,
maybe that.
but they are used to that by now.
Yeah, but I think it's also changing something in
Mm.
them. So it's
It's, you know why I do
yeah,
it? It's to show them, look, there is nothing to be afraid of.
yeah.
You know,
That's what I.
I mentioned when I talked about this in Lebanon, getting together, dancing,
Yeah. Album,
children.
yeah.
You know, you know what happens there is you are not judged.
Yeah,
You are not judged. You learn from small on, little on, that you
yeah.
can be who you are. You don't have to fear how people think about you or about you. And but my children are now in the Western world between
Yeah.
Switzerland and Spain. They live in Spain right now in
Mm,
Mallorca. And still, even though culturally it's a bit more open, still there is limitation.
yeah.
And oh, what would they think about us?
Yeah.
What we have to be here now a little bit more quiet. Uh,
Mm.
so I just to express even more if
Yeah,
I see them getting down this rabbit hole.
I love that. So that's basically what I meant when I said something is changing in them too, because it's so beautiful somehow in a reverse way, but you give them permission because probably they will remember, daddy is a little crazy one who's singing here, but he's just doing it, and then he can do it, I can do it. So it's a great thing. So, coming back to the pillars of the method, but no,
Please.
but it's great because I'm gonna, yeah, because I connected the same dots you did, so it's so good. So, in the first part, it has 4 parts. It's like 4 course in one. It's a year-long program, and so in the first part is just we are emphasizing the joy and the physical pleasure of giving a sound and singing itself, because I think we distantiate it so far. Like I ask often, what is the word that come up when I say singing. What is for you singing? But probably you are different. I don't know. So what? Okay, I say singing. What comes up to you?
Joy,
Joy. Yeah. What else?
freedom,
Freedom.
together.
Together. Yeah, we are pretty much in the same,
Yeah.
same bubble. But when I ask, for example, teenagers, they say microphone, stage, performance, X factor, da da da, all around perfectionism,
Yes.
high notes. See, so all these performance, celebrity, money, business, how many followers. So it has this context of being perfect, having good skill, which is very true, which I'm not denying because I'm in it. But in the first 6 weeks of my course, we make another foundation, is which is you the way you just described this scene with your son, with your children. You are allowed to use your voice when you feel it, and of course you are attuned to your people around you, but
Yeah.
you can sing if you want, or you can soothe yourself with your own voice. You can sing a sad song. So you can use it for your own joy, just without being perfect, because there is no such thing as perfect.
Exactly.
I know you're resonating with me. That's what you did with it.
Yes.
So in the first part, we do have a lot of core exercises there, but its title is the joy of singing and speaking. Just like I'm daring opening my mouth, bigger than ever. And I say to my boss that I want to double my salary. And then when I say the number, I really say it. And my boss just sees the number and but sometimes it's just start by opening those two, which are the lips. So I do it funnily here in the conference. I make people imagine an apple and then put this apple to the mouth, and then they open the mouth, and the sound is very different. Also, their speaking voice is very different after those images. And so in the first part, one of the core exercise which I like to tell a little bit about is the auditive soul hunting process, which is going back to my contemporary shamanistic studies and experiences. In the shamanistic world, soul hunting is basically what we do in the psychotherapy in the Western world. So the shaman says you can go to the woods and hunt back your lost pieces, so you become integrated again and whole. And so I realized that we can do that with the voice. So in that particular exercise, of course, there's a long preparation for that, but we become ancient people, like cave people who roar. Sometimes they really get in touch with this raw self in the voice. Sometimes we use movement. Then we become babies who are crying for milk. And you haven't seen a baby crying with open lips. So if a baby cries for milk because she's hungry, she does that. Everything is open.
Yes.
With time, does this, we do this. But so we go back to this baby, then we go back to a person who is sexually liberated. And then the fourth character in this exercise is the wolf. And the reason is because there's a book that really shaped my mind. Is it's Clarissa Pinkola Estes, The Woman Who Ran with the Wolf. It's a beautiful, beautiful book about the ancient power of storytelling.
Yeah.
And so in this particular exercise, what the testimonials are is that one of my psychotherapist clients said, my main transformation in my life happened through psychedelics and with that exercise. Because doing all these voices of the wolf and the baby and the caveman really switched off my prefrontal cortex
Yes.
and let me just be from this reptilian brain and shout or roar or hum or scream. And so she said it gave me so much perspective in my voice,
Mm-hmm.
what I can do with my voice. So this is actually the first part, and
Yes.
then the second pillar is more about the embodied voice.
Mm-hmm.
So what does it mean that the voice lives in the body? What the heck does it mean? So I come with poetry, and then in the end of that part, my students are writing prayer for their own body, which is a deep, deep one.
Mm-hmm.
It's also a long process, but it's a prayer for their own body to really, you know, like see the beauty of each part of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's more like somewhere between the hymn, the hymn and
Mm-hmm.
prayer. But we do a lot of breathing and a lot of
Mm-hmm.
vocal technique in that
Yes.
part. The third part is voice and sexuality,
Mm-hmm.
which is a very awaited part in throughout the program, because here we work with very subtle energies. And one of the main shift in my students'
Mm-hmm.
life and feedback is the way they see sexuality at all,
Mm-hmm.
that it can be something between them and themselves.
Yeah.
So it doesn't require a partner. It's like energy. We are born from
Mm-hmm.
a sexual act, and we can die as a sexual being.
Mm-hmm.
And so they start to see that if I don't have any sex in my marriage, it's not
Mm-hmm.
because I don't have sex in my body. Of course, I have these
Yeah.
currents, and so with voice we can very easily awaken those
Mm-hmm.
energies within the body.
Mm-hmm.
So I work with specific songs for the womb or the breast or the heart, or
Yeah.
so it's a very powerful part of the program. And also we bring in the harvesting the energy. So with sexuality you can create
Mm-hmm.
a heightened energy, like it's like more shining,
Mm-hmm.
like in the Greek. I think it was in Homer that he wrote that before Odysseus got back to Penelope,
Mm-hmm.
there was Aphrodite coming and made him bigger somehow, put oil on his shoulder and
Okay.
somehow made him somehow taller, so that after 20 years
Mm-hmm.
having
It can
not see
still be.
yeah not seeing the wife, then he could be. So
Mm-hmm.
that's what I mean, heightened energies. After sex you are glowing, you are somehow, the world is a nicer place,
Mm-hmm.
right? So this energy we can harvest.
Yeah.
And so we can do the same thing with singing. After
Mm-hmm.
we were singing together with many of the colleagues here,
Mm-hmm.
and after the glowing
Mm-hmm.
faces, I mean, this was I call,
Mm-hmm.
harvesting. So this part is about a lot of sexual and vocal energy together. So
Mm-hmm.
I connect them on purpose together. And in the fourth part, that's where the real stuff, the whole thing. But in the fourth part, students are writing their own song.
Mm-hmm.
And when they do that, of course, they don't believe me in the beginning
Yeah.
because they say I'm not a songwriter. I
Yes.
know. But if you look at children, they are just improvising songs all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a process that I offer to them, and I just give them buckets. So fill it up, fill it up, fill it up. And in the
Mm-hmm.
end, you got a song. So we use the framework of the rites of passages, which I told you before, like Arnold Wangenep's 3 parts frame. And they get there, they write their own song, and they change something in their life, which is towards their
Mm-hmm.
aspiration. One of them told me that her her theme was meeting others' expectations,
Yes.
and being always the good girl. So she wrote a beautiful song about circles and circles,
Mm-hmm.
and then she told me, I wrote this song. I stayed up late night, like 3 o'clock, and then I slept like a newborn baby.
Mm-hmm.
So she started a new cycle in her life when it's not others' expectation, it's just her own.
Mm-hmm.
This kind of thing is happening, like, I don't know, 100 times in a year in my program.
Beautiful.
pretty much. Yeah. And of course there is the community, so it's a very strong community too, because we spend 1 year together, and it's very, we hold the space for, I mean, I hold and we hold the space for each other, for each other's transformation.
And how many people do you work with every year now through
Every year
this
it's like
year program?
50,
Mm,
but I hold workshops on a regular basis.
mm,
And I do have a program in English, which is not the length of the Hungarian one, but it's the same title,
mm,
Sing Yourself to Freedom. And the core elements are there, like the
mm,
auditive soul hunting, or the prayer for the body,
yeah.
or working with the belief system about my own
Mm-hmm,
voice. What is
mm-hmm,
that? They
mm-hmm.
told me that I have a bad voice, that I can sing, I'm
Yes.
tone deaf, etc. So we work with that.
Mm-hmm,
And in this program, what I find really interesting, that I needed to have another set of songs
mm-hmm,
with which I can work. So I went back to Appalachian folk song, or depending on the culture of the people who comes to the
mm-hmm,
container, I always invite them to go from class one to go back to their own songs. For instance, we have always lullabies in the end of each class of mine, finishing with a lullaby,
mm-hmm.
period. So when we do that, I invite them from the first class to write their own lyrics on the melodies, or
Yes.
find a lullaby that they maybe know, or they heard as a child, or maybe
Mm,
their mother sang to her. So we work with lullabies and songs from the culture they are coming
mm-hmm,
from.
mm-hmm.
But also, as I work with Jewish songs, this is
Yeah.
also a big part of the program, because
Yes.
then I have three languages, at least Yiddish, Hungarian, and English.
Yeah.
And many times I also translate Hungarian folk songs to English. Then I got beautiful kind of Irish songs. It's
Yeah.
very funny. It sounds like Irish songs because of the pentatonic world
Uh-huh.
and everything. But the same essential thing is in there.
Mm,
It's a smaller container, usually 10 to 15 people.
okay.
But then I teach in all over the world. Like,
Mm,
I teach with corporates also,
mm-hmm.
like big companies,
Organizations.
yeah,
Yeah.
organizations. And I'm also teaching the core exercises to leaders,
Mm,
because I find that this finding my authentic voice as a leader is a big topic. And I find that many of the leaders are,
mm-hmm,
becoming hard and not
mm,
so connected when they speak, and when
mm-hmm,
they think that the voice need to spread power, then they do that, and actually it's not real power.
mm-hmm.
Then it's draining the energy. So
Yeah.
I put some path there
Mm.
too.
What type of issues would they come to do your training?
So many times it's the thing is that they are saying, I lost myself somewhere. It's not,
Mm,
many times after a life transition, like,
mm,
I don't know, becoming a mother, or the other way around, the teenager child is out
mm,
of the house. So they feel like they lost something.
mm-hmm,
And so also, with more situationally, they say that many times I cannot say what I say. I have the words inside, but I
mm,
cannot say them. Or I lose my voice with a specific person, or a specific type of person. Like,
mm-hmm,
I start to cough and being harsh voice when I speak
mm-hmm,
to my male boss, or I cannot say what I think to my, I don't know, to my mom.
mm-hmm.
So it's a lot of, some of them are like typically physical voice related,
Yes.
like I cough, I harsh, I have vocal cord problems, or I'm not a phoniater, but I work
Mm,
with some professionals to get some help when there is the case.
mm-hmm.
But many times they can verbalize something physical,
Yes.
something in a physical voice that they don't have, or they feel like they speak like a mouse, although
Mm-hmm.
they are like a leader, and
Yeah.
they don't have the power. Or the other way around, they are female leaders and they always sound like a man. you know
Mm-hmm.
and empathy, the part of empathy is missing. So
Mm-hmm.
sometimes is that the physical voice, but what's the underlying issues? It's many times the emotional disconnection of the self. So many times they are just completely disconnected from their bodies and they are not there. So after all, what I do and what my works voice method does, it's the art of presence,
Yes.
how to be in the here and now. So also they are saying many times these are like big life transformations. They are giving birth, or they are divorcing, or they're leaving the company they are the founder of. So
Yeah.
many times
So
it's like
changes in life.
really big changes. And so what this finding the authentic voice back does to them is to express from moment to moment what is their inner truth through the physical voice.
Yes.
So the inner voice and the outer voice is deeply intertwined. So we cannot speak about finding my voice if I
Yes.
don't actually speak with my
Right.
physical voice. So so many times this sleeping numb body parts are awakened. Many times it goes to the sexuality part. Like many times people find back their sexual aliveness.
I'm interested in the voice and sexuality
Yeah,
part.
yeah, many people are.
Uh,
Tell me.
so can the voice, can singing a song waken up my sexuality,
Oh
or
yes,
how how does it happen?
we have to broaden sexuality. First, it's like I'm just coming from Esther Perel's, Esther Perel's lecture, and she talks about that as eroticism is it's way larger than just intercourse, or
Yes.
narrowing the sexual imagination to that. So also in my world is it's a large world of opening to sensations, to the five senses, or being open to the other person for deeper attunement, or feeling my own body. So I know this curiosity awakened in many people I
Yeah.
talk with. So there is a video, maybe this is the favorite of my of my students. It's called 10+1 exercise for connecting voice and sexuality. And so many times it's just like we are creating an internal channel in our mind's eye. It's called the stovepipe, which is basically you connect the chakras, if you know the chakras, or if you
Yes.
are familiar with the Tao, is the microcosmical orbit. So either way you can, or if you are uh, here and you are a in psychotherapy, then it's the vagus nerve. So you breathe through that,
Yes.
and then you give a sound by imagining that you have this open channel in your body, in the middle of your body, like you know an open stovepipe for free flow of energy, sound, fire, light, whatever you want. So just this little exercise, like imagine that from the perineum to the top of my head there is a channel which is open. And of course now you connect all these main energy centers, and you sound this through up and down, like wow, wow. Already this exercise gives so much permission and joy to the students to like open to themselves. And the sexual organs are connected to the heart and to the throat in this exercise, so let's not forget that all these are like one part of one system. And many times when talking about voice and sexuality, either we are cut from here down there,
Yes.
or many times what I hear, I'm I have a knot in my throat, or I have a steel plate in my interesting imagery and verb words. So this exercise does that. It gives you permission to connect those parts with the voice. So this is just one layer of it, and then we go further. You can do the flute of bones, when you imagine your bones are like flutes and you start to blow in. by leaving a little hole.
Mm.
Actually, you can try because it's easy.
Mhm.
Like you imagine this is a little flute,
Yes.
and that just you blew in, and you try to pass the resonance from this point to here. Can you feel the resonance here?
Yes.
And then you can go here and you try to feel the resonance here.
Mm.
Leave a little hole. Oh, it's so good. I have
Yes.
tickling here.
Yeah.
Do you? So with the little, yeah, with a
Mhm.
little imagination and work,
Mhm.
you can create new neural pathways. One more. And
Mhm.
if our listeners are open to that, try to experiment
Mhm.
with that. You blew in. This is one
Yeah.
part of the
We
flute,
feel
and you
it
try
something
to
else.
feel the resonance here and the
Mm.
other side. And then you go next step.
Mhm.
You can do that with a partner if the partner is, consent. Then you can do this with your lips. It's like the
Mhm.
resonance test with a kiss.
Mhm.
And then you can do it with other body parts, also not just the
Mhm.
bony parts, but the soft parts,
Yeah.
the sexual organs.
Mm.
So this is a very, very subtle work,
Mhm.
but sex is nothing but subtle.
Mhm.
I would not say work, but like being present in your
Mm.
body and being open to sensations. And
Mhm.
like my 5-year-old Lily was like one time back in time asking, "Mommy, tell me about sex. What's that thing?" She was 5. And I said, remember the film of Nemo, the fish? And when the turtles went to Australia and there were a river within the ocean. You
Yes.
remember? So sexuality is like that. Imagine that your body from the inside is like an ocean, but there are rivers, currents
Mhm.
that they want to go to another ocean's
Mhm.
currents and they want to meet. It flows somewhere. And
Mm.
she was like with her big eyes.
Mm.
And so this is the same thing. You are awakening these
Yeah.
internal currents and rivers in your
Mm.
ocean so you can feel more. You
Mhm.
become more sensitive to your own touch and maybe to another person's touch, which is like the art of sexuality. I mean, is staying
Mm.
present in your body and paying attention to another body and soul at the same
Yes.
time.
So it's the mindful be becoming more mindful in what we do,
Yeah.
because when you're in interaction, then if the mind is too
Yeah.
active, you're not present. It's not the same effect.
And when you sing and
Yeah.
when you give a sound, you
Mm.
are more likely not that heavy headed. It's already something
Yes.
physical is connected.
Yeah. It's probably when we use our breath and the voice,
Yeah.
we cannot. It's difficult to use both at the same time, the
Yeah.
brain and
What happens is that we switch on and off. So
yeah.
I, I have an exercise about fear because
Mm.
it says there are scientific evidences that you cannot really deeply fear in your body if you give a sound.
Mm.
Ah, what's happening is that you switch on and off even
Mhm.
though you give a sound, and when you breathe in, you think of the future. What if
Yeah.
the bear is coming and bite me?
Yes.
So then you go back to fear again. Then you do ah. So the way voice is very good
Mhm.
for soothing. It's because it takes away the fear part.
Yes.
And
Yes.
if you happen to sing to babies, it's so beautiful because they are like so open that they are changing with the face and
Mm.
everything
You're
as
receiving.
very much like the resonance. You
Mm.
are almost like becoming too careful because you see how
Mm.
much you're affecting this little soul and body with
Mhm.
resonance.
Mhm.
So just to give an idea, because you were asking about that part, and of course it's a very, very, very interesting and important part of my program and my method to awaken sexual energy with voice, also with
Mhm.
songs. So I have typical songs, folk songs, or songs I wrote for the womb. So many of the women I work with,
Mhm.
they can reconnect to their own organs.
Yes.
which are many times kind of feel like cut
Mm-hmm.
from the whole body. So it's again very a beautiful exercise, because this song, this particular song, is full of flowers names.
Mm-hmm.
And when you imagine a womb, it's like lilies and roses and everything. And so I can feel them, that they are working with their imagination and also with the touch and then the sound.
Mm-hmm.
And they go back to, so I mean, I can see that from moment to moment there are more, more light in the eyes,
Mm-hmm.
more loosening in the joints, more connectedness between those energy
Mm-hmm.
parts in the body. So it's very beautiful to witness
Mm.
also.
Very nice.
Yeah. You know, to work with sexuality, we don't have to have sex. So it's
Yeah.
it's not about,
Yes.
it's not a sex course, but I do find that that the voice work is very similar to sexuality,
Mm-hmm.
or it can be applied in a very similar way.
What if someone is traumatized,
Mm.
sexually
Yeah.
traumatized, or
Yeah.
else, and the connection to the voice? How is this connected?
Yeah. Many times it's silencing. So many times they literally cannot
Yeah.
say words, certain words, or cannot talk in the presence of certain people.
Mm-hmm.
And also many times they are saying that before they give a sound, they start to verbalize that I cannot do that, or
Mm-hmm.
I'm stuck. And what I do, my job is to first, they know that they are the leader of the process. So
Mm-hmm.
if at any point it's too much, they can stop.
Yes.
However, of course, I'm already with them half a year or eight
Mm-hmm.
months to the
You know
point
them.
when we work
Mm-hmm.
with this. So we know them, they trust me. And so, however, I mean, she might say stop, or
Mm.
but I do feel that if I lead this person very elegantly and very lovingly through this difficult part, she can open up certain things.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that it's healing the whole trauma and everything, but many times tear appears first,
Mm-hmm.
even before they give a sound.
Yes.
And when tears appear, I breathe with them, I stay with them, and it's a very big part of my work is just be
Mm-hmm.
with them, as you
Give the
said.
space.
Give
Mm-hmm.
space, witnessing, be with them, hold the space. And then I invite them, even though they have tears and they might cry,
Mm-hmm.
I softly ask them to open the lips and just give a sigh, first without sound, and the next one or the next one, a little bit of sound with
Mm-hmm.
this open lips. I think the moment the lips can open, it's
Yeah.
she's winning,
Yeah.
because then there's something's opening also in other body parts, and so because it's connected.
Yeah.
So I lead them very, very softly, sometimes through tears, sometimes through shaking,
Mm-hmm.
still to the landscape of sound. So sometimes I have to, sometimes I take,
Mm-hmm.
metaphorically speaking, I take a hold of your hand and I say, come a little bit further and give a sound. Keep
Mm-hmm.
sounding out.
Yeah.
And then they have an experience that is safe. If I open myself, no one hurts me.
Mm-hmm.
So, but of course, before we work a lot with the container,
Mm-hmm.
this is number zero.
Yes.
But in the moment, those those people can open the lips and give a sound. Many times, the healing starts to happen
Mm-hmm.
because of this channel, which we practice on a regular basis. I just shown you this stovepipe exercise,
Mm-hmm.
so they know that my sexual organs or my guts, my heart, my throat is connected. So in the moment I open
Mm-hmm.
something here, I can open up something there. So it's a very, very subtle work, but I saw the transformation,
Mm-hmm.
the people without, I mean, they are doing it, and
Yes.
many times it's online. So
Mm-hmm.
but the holding is very strong from the other
Mm-hmm.
members of the community as well.
So they start relearn expression and trust and
Yes,
safe to feel safe.
yes, and many times for working with sexuality, we are not even in the
Mm.
we are not in vaginas and we are not in
Mm.
penises. It's not about many times sexuality is not what happened in your sexual organs or in your,
Mm-hmm.
it's the whole body. And I
Mm-hmm.
find voice is a very gentle yet very efficient tool
Mm-hmm.
to open up, you know, numb or
Yeah.
hurting places by a traumatic experience. And we know that the trauma is not really what happened to you, but it's the experience in your body when you were left alone with this event.
Yes.
And there was not an a witness with empathy. That's what Peter
Mm-hmm.
Levin says. So I think it's a very important part of my work to take off the shame. It's 8 months,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
then in September we are together, and it's just happening. Also, the space holding of each other, it's just it's just happening naturally through the songs and through the
Yes.
exercises, because it's also it's this opening and the stovepipe exercise. It's almost a visual and a
Mm.
muscle memory of my students, because we do it every week
Yes.
at least once or more.
Yeah.
So they know that. So there's a set of exercise. Okay, stovepipe again. Go back to the stovepipe,
Mm-hmm.
and then she knows what the stovepipe is, and then she breathes again,
Mm-hmm.
and then she gives a sound, and then we go to the horse, honey, apple. Another
Mm.
sequence of exercise, and then so see, it's so good that also I like to teach very. I improvise a lot and
Mm-hmm.
creative. I use my creative power, but there is structure.
Yes.
So there is a structure, a set of exercises, and some core
Mm.
elements that they know, and we practice it, and it becomes a habit.
Mm. The repetition is
Yeah, yeah,
important
yeah,
here.
yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Also in the body.
Yes.
So, thank you so much for asking these questions, because I never really
No,
explained that
of course.
for. Yeah,
It's very interesting to know. It's also important part of your work you do.
yeah, and I feel you are very open to that. So
Yeah.
it's yeah.
I mean, talking about trauma, how have you met Gabor Mate?
So is I would say it's a long-term friendship, or
Mm.
what we consider long-term. It's almost 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
He's Hungarian. I'm
Yes.
Hungarian. And when his first book was translated to Hungarian, or it wasn't the first book, but the first to be
Yeah.
translated in Hungarian, I just wrote my first book, and we happened to be at the same publisher.
Mm.
And then we met, and Gabor Mate back then wasn't that big, so
Yeah.
it was a rainy afternoon. I was very pregnant, and so he gave a lecture. He gave a lecture for 40 people, not
Mm.
more than 40, like
Yeah.
40, because no one knew who Gabor Mate is. Oh my, it's it's old times.
Yeah.
And then I went there, and I knew about his love for music. He's
Mm.
a music collector, and also knew about his Jewish roots, and I
Mm-hmm.
have Jewish roots. So I just freshly made an album
Mm-hmm.
of Sephardic songs. So I gave it to him,
Mm.
and then he immediately wrote me, "Who are you and what's this music? Ah,
Yeah.
I love it so much."
Mm-hmm.
And it seems like I was late with the answer, and since
Mm.
ever it's the little teasing, "Oh, you didn't write me back." Da, 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 da. But then we became friends, because he started to come more to Hungary
Mm-hmm.
with his wife, and so we became like friends.
Mm-hmm.
And also we during COVID we pretty much talked online quite a lot.
Mm-hmm.
He was writing his book, which is the book which is already published, the Myth of Normal,
Yes.
and I was developing my method. And
Mm.
so I was very afraid. Even now, I'm unperfect in English. You hear
Mm.
that.
Mm-hmm.
But I own my unperfectionism and unperfect English.
Mm.
And also, I'm owning my unperfectionism, because I'm someone who came from the world of perfectionism. I have
Mm.
to be perfect and good. And I only say things if I know the
Yes.
whole sentence. And it's not true anymore. partly because he was pushing me, pretty much pushing me
Mm.
to do what I do. And one time at the Zoom, he said, "Stop worrying about your English, just
Yeah.
do what you do."
Yes. Yes.
Because I think he felt the potential. He saw me singing many times.
Mm-hmm.
One time, I I sang a song for a group of people. He was there, and then I went somewhere else when
Mm-hmm.
when I sing. I'm in another secretive world of
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
sounds,
I can
and
see that
yeah,
sometimes.
he felt it too. And then I closed my eyes and I opened when I kind of half back, half there, half here, and he said, "What's to be in there?" Like, what's to be in there? Like, how is the other side? So he
Mm-hmm.
completely got it. And yeah, but yeah, we were not that close there yet, but then he got the whole thing. And then we started to, really deep talk, like
Mm-hmm.
no, like kind of no bullshit talk, like no small
Yeah.
talk, just go to the depths of the things. And somehow I started to really trust him, and also he trusts
Mm-hmm.
me, and which is a great thing because he's full of people and full of
Yeah.
things in his life. But it's really an honor to know him and to be able to to trust him, and also to see how he was pretty directly pushing me
Mm-hmm.
towards like teaching, and also here in Oxford, you know just he was asking, "Hey, can you open for me? Like, can you do
Yes.
your voice work for a couple of minutes, couple of exercises just?"
Mm-hmm.
And it was a beautiful thing last year. So yeah, it's a very deep thing for me. And of course, for me, Gabor is Gabor.
Mm-hmm.
It's Gabor. And to see how he's dealing with this celebrity thing, and to be
Yeah.
seen, but it's too much, but then he wants
Mm.
to have privacy, but it's a big topic. So
Yeah.
I have that as a singer.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, I'm saying a secret here in Oxford during the conference. I'm very comfortable because I mean, people recognize me of the singing, but not as,
Yeah.
celebrity in Hungary. And it's
Yes.
just so good. I don't have to sign, every paper and everything. So it's,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
In Hungary, when you're there, so people recognize you
Yeah, yeah,
when you
yeah.
walk around.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
But it's also shifted because last time in July, we were walking with Gabor on the street,
Mm-hmm.
and I was so happy because usually I am the one who is recognized, and it was
Yes.
more him.
It was.
So I was okay. Mental health is on the way.
Mm,
Young guys were like,
mm,
"Hey, Gabo," and I was so happy. Oh my God, what he does is
mm,
so meaningful and so important. And also, the Hungarian team
mm-hmm.
does a great job to make this work, spread and
Yes.
and 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 known. And I'm just, I'm just so grateful I can be his friend.
Mm-hmm. I cannot imagine how this also affects your sense of safety being out there and always recognized.
Oh, it's a big topic. It's You mentioned before the boundary settings,
Mm-hmm.
which is a big topic for me. So about that topic, what I would put here is that it's a game of how and where to put my boundaries, because partly, let us be honest, it's also part of my job, because
Mm-hmm.
people who come to me, they are not adoring the famous celebrity.
Mm.
Probably they know my song in depth.
Yes.
And also, to you, when I entered to the room, you said you were listening to my song. So usually people who got to me, they are really deep into my work.
Mm-hmm.
So it's also a reciprocity in the honor. So
Yes.
I give them the signature
Yes.
and the photo. But also it happens to me that I'm in a difficult place, in a bad
Mm-hmm.
mood. And it happened to me that in an elevator, a girl wanted to, jump on me. And
Mm-hmm.
I was like, almost freezing, like I'm
Yeah.
not there. And so I developed the kind of uh, regard in the eyes, don't look at me, like, and
Mm.
I'm living a pretty introvert life, so I'm not going out so much. partly because my children are still young and I
Mm.
just love to be with them. And many times my teaching time zone is in the evening. But besides that, I have my, in Hungary, I have my boundary setting, soft
Mm.
techniques. Like sometimes I just see my fans are bowing the head and I
Mm.
just do back, but don't go further.
Yes.
When I feel I'm open, I can do what they ask.
Approach.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, yeah. But it's a big topic too, and I always like got like here. Oh, sorry, if I didn't recognize you as a speaker, you don't have to.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just new here. You are in another
Yes.
culture. It's okay. You don't have to feel like. And even in Hungary, if someone
Mm.
doesn't know me, it happens. You don't have to. I
Mm-hmm.
don't. I'm not wearing my coat as Payaba and I'm
Yeah.
not sleeping within.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's I can just take it off and being
Mm-hmm.
free.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, it was a big thing when I was in my. Actually, I was just turning 30. I started to travel for the sake of traveling.
Mm-hmm.
Before I was traveling for touring and singing, and when I started to travel for the traveling itself, for the joy of seeing the world, that's what I call, there's this
Yeah.
saying you step up to the stage of the world when
Mm.
that means the world for
Mm-hmm.
you when you perform.
Yes.
And for me, the big shift was to step out of it because I was 6 when they put
Mm-hmm.
me there. I was singing in competitions
Yeah.
and dancing when I was 8. So for me, the big thing to step off from the
Mm.
stage and see the world from a different angle. And I see coming back to Gabriel, I see in him also that he got that later because
Mm-hmm.
he always says saying to me like, hey, what I started to do my work when I was 46. I mean the work I'm doing
Mm.
now,
Yes.
and you are much younger, so you have time, so don't rush. Yeah, yeah. So it's a big topic for not just for singers.
No, no, we see this also a lot with our clients.
Mm-hmm.
We treat like very often celebrities,
Mm-hmm.
known people in their countries. They
Mm.
find release by traveling out.
Yeah.
But I just last week had a nice conversation with also world-known
Mm-hmm.
celebrity. He could not be anywhere in the world without being recognized, and that's a difficulty.
That's
Um,
heavy also because also it's like a mask, and you want.
mm,
Uh, I share something personal just for the topic because it can help to give an angle. Like when I divorced, my main 3 fears were no one wants me with 2 kids, 2 young
mhm,
kids. Even if they want me, they see me as Bea Palya, the celebrity.
mm,
So they don't see behind the mask. I
yes.
mean, I don't wear a mask, but still, as a public figure, I
Mm,
still am a projection surface for
yeah.
people's mind and life. That's
Yes.
how this thing work
Yeah.
always. And even if I'm not wearing my paya code, they see me and
Mm,
they bring in all these projections
mhm,
that they have about me because they like my work. So I think it's a big topic because
yeah.
more and more the world goes push us toward being a public figure and being a celebrity and influencer and sharing everything.
Mhm.
But at the same time, it's never the whole picture.
No.
It's never the real me. So my second
Mhm,
fear was like, but okay, do you want me? But do you really see me?
mhm,
Are you willing to be the container of the whole Payabel who is not
yeah.
always nice, who is not always singing nicely,
Mm,
who is not always dressed up like a diva,
mhm,
or not just a famous teacher? Are you willing to let
yeah.
this all in? Because if it's a yes, then let's
Mhm.
contain each other.
That's the difficulty to stay always also authentic and accept each other. That's the burden of coming with fame and
Oh
recognition.
yeah, a very big topic. Oh
Yeah,
my god.
it becomes sad because this person I was talking about from last week, um, would he told me, yeah, I can only go out when it's dark, so people don't recognize me.
Mhm.
So it's a big
It's
burden. It can be
loneliness,
a big burden also.
and it's
Mm.
loneliness.
Yes,
It's
it's
loneliness.
loneliness. What you also said, I'm happy to be in this country because they are more
Yeah.
discreet,
Yeah.
but I don't know anyone.
Mm.
And if I go back to
Mm-hmm.
where I live, then I have this overwhelming,
Yeah.
everyone is overwhelming.
Yeah.
So also the finding the right balance. So I understand when you said before,
Yeah.
you're afraid partly of the too much.
Yeah.
I agree, and I don't want to be
Mm-hmm.
there or
Mm-hmm.
replace my position with them.
I think therapy and the mental health work I've done in the last 20 years helped me
Mm,
incredibly
mm,
in this topic as well, like finding a healthy balance between being the famous person
yeah.
and also being the normal no one or
Mm,
normal someone. And I deeply, if I may say, or it's an invitation for every famous person, because many times fame is like you
mm,
become, you know, somehow ensorcelated by it, like,
mm,
oh, it's beautiful, ah, ooh. Then
mm,
it, then it satisfies something in you, an aspiration for you to be seen.
yeah.
But then, and I might say that because I have 40 years in what I do as a singer and 10 in what I do as a teacher. I have a lot of experiences in this field that really, the more I share, of course in different containers, but more
Mm,
I share, at least for example in my program, I share many things about me just for the learning,
yes.
for the people there. They don't see me as Payaba anymore,
Mm,
and it's so beautiful because it takes a little time,
yeah.
but then my
As the
students see me as a
person who you
mentor.
are.
Yeah, yeah, a person who I am,
Mm,
and a strong mentor, a very
mm,
honest one, very
mm,
loving one, but very challenging one also.
mm,
I'm not for everyone, but they see me as a whole, as a more, I show more of my sides
mm,
there. On the other hand, in the media, I'm not playing with I'm not showing my kids, I'm not showing my
mm,
partner, I'm not playing my celebrity cards. And this is also something you have the right to do. There
yes.
are 1,001 ways to be as a famous person in the
Mm,
world. You
mm,
decide. You decide how much you give and how much you. There's
yes.
no one. And like typically, I hear the media wants me more. You say just no.
Mm, yes.
And it's
Yes.
part of my job, I know, but then I can still play with it. Yeah, how
Mm,
many journalists were like, and how about your partner, how about your children, can we just one photo of the children,
mm,
no.
mm,
It's a simple no.
yeah.
Maybe it's less TV show
Mm,
invitations, but who cares? It's not my true self. It's
yes.
like, so there's a decision to make, and
Mm.
therapy is very helpful in that.
Thank you for sharing that. You mentioned also language.
Mhm.
Um, English is not your first language. It's not my first
Mhm.
language. I have my experiences changing countries and
Uh-huh.
languages and dealing with this. Um, do it affects self-esteem,
Oh
obviously.
yeah.
It affects who you are. Are you different persons
Oh
if you
yeah.
speak in a different language?
I'm much younger probably when I speak in English, so it's funny because I would not say childish, but I know I make faults. But I also
Mm,
I use my imperfection, my my not perfect English to give permission to others
mm,
to do what they do. Of course, I'm not saying that I don't have to polish my English. I am doing it,
yes.
but it doesn't give me an obstacle anymore to teach
Hmm.
the voice wisdom I have on the other side. And I saw many of my Japanese, Chinese, Belgian, uh, Croatian clients to get this courage from me
Yeah.
to do what they do because I do what I do
Hmm.
in the language I know. And emotions, though, they are going through the voice. So even now,
Hmm.
I'm changing a little bit of tone just to
Hmm.
give an example of what I do. So I don't really know
Hmm.
what is the next word I'm saying, but I
Yeah.
do know how I alter my voice and how I put more colors in
Mm,
my voice. So this is my expertise.
yeah.
And yeah, so in English I'm much younger. Maybe I seem less mature, although I think the wisdom is there still. And of course, I read much less poetry in
Yeah.
English than in Hungarian. It's not just it's not just that I read them, but I know them by heart.
Mm-hmm.
So in Hungarian literary,
Mm-hmm.
as I said, thousands of songs and thousands of poems. So it
Mm-hmm.
of course affects my Hungarian speaking. It's rich, it's colorful,
Mm-hmm.
it's beautiful, it's elegant. In English, I don't have this yet,
Yeah.
but my first second language was actually French.
Mm.
So I'm a French speaker, and it happened to me that I, yeah, I got two invitations actually to play in
Mm-hmm.
French films as a gypsy character.
Okay.
One is Tony Gottlieb's Transylvania 20 years ago, and the other one is Django from Etienne Comar.
Mm-hmm.
It's a biopic of Django, where I play the wife of Django.
Mm-hmm.
And so even moving between cultures gave me a lot of
Mm.
opportunity to develop exercises. Like
Yeah.
one of my main exercise, which is that like opening when we inhale and closing when we
Mm-hmm.
exhale. And so I say to my student, and we are not always like come word and see me, we are not always like that. Sometimes we are like that,
Mm-hmm.
leave me alone, and it's
Mm-hmm.
totally completely valid. But then there's the inhalation again, so we do
Yes.
this pumping movement. I do it a couple of times and we are there. But you know how I find this exercise? I was in the first, um, you know it was a kind of trying me out in the shooting situation for
Mm-hmm.
Django. And in the very first rehearsal, there is Cécile de France, the
Mm-hmm.
beautiful, great actor, beautiful person
Yes.
in and out. She's in front of me. And so I have to say my text in French. And I go, oh, I got it. I have a good French, but my
Yeah.
heartbeat really went up. I couldn't make it, push it
Mm.
down. And what I did, I started to, okay, if I'm anxious, then let it be. But then I inhale, then I can.
Mm-hmm.
And after, I don't know, 20 to 30 opening and
Yeah.
closing, I got better. Okay. Then I can say, oui, Django.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, I don't know what was the exact words anymore, but it was so funny that even these cross-cultural crazy situations, Hungarian gypsy girl playing a gypsy
Mm-hmm.
French woman,
Mm.
in French and in Sinto-Romani language, in Paris,
Yeah.
in front of Cécile de France, and then one of my main exercises coming from that situation. So it's only giving
Yeah.
me more colors, more
Mm.
ideas, more creativity, and I really don't care
Mm.
anymore that much of my unperfect
Mm.
expressions and the missing s of some words, or
Mm.
sometimes say I have because I instead of has, or I don't know what I say, but I do know that I'm present and I'm with you,
Mm-hmm.
and what's under, it's it's polished.
Yes.
Maybe I don't have the language yet as polished as the material
Mm.
itself, the teaching
Yeah.
material or the thoughts, but you know each interview gives me
Mm-hmm.
uh you know one step closer
Yeah.
to my aim.
I like that you said twice, not yet. So this
Okay.
this is also a good mindset. You're getting better,
Yeah,
developing, and you're doing your best. I think that's
yeah,
that's what we can do. I mean,
yeah,
as I said, English is also not my
yeah,
primary
yeah,
language, and I
yeah.
don't feel fully comfortable
Mm.
as I would speak in German, for
Mm-hmm,
example,
mm-hmm.
because that's the language I spoke the
Every
most.
day, yeah.
Even though I speak also
Mm,
Arabic and
mm,
French, also some
yeah,
part, and becoming in the last years more to speak Spanish or to learn
nice.
Spanish, but then it's kind of trying to transform ourselves into
Mm,
every language is an invitation
yeah.
to become a new person somehow.
Yeah. And I feel on your aliveness that it's so beautiful just to touch the
Mm,
subject. You become different in your body, and
yeah.
it's because it's liberating to not to be
Mm,
perfect and just say what
mhm,
I want to say, and just You know what? I translate body sensations into some words that I find in the moment.
Yeah.
It might not be perfect, but the body sensation and the connectedness to the body is
Yeah.
definitely there.
Yes.
So like, and and it's funny because you're mentioning language I speak. So I've never learned Spanish neither, but I've been to Mexico 18 times. And so after the French, I just figured out the rules of pronunciation, and I started to baragouin, or like speak somehow Spanish. And again,
Yes.
it's another character of me, like even younger, even more, I don't know, hippie, someone who some words in the end, you know.
But
So it's fun.
that's something we can say now at our age, possibly, that we can accept ourselves with our imperfection.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But that's something which comes through life as well, and by seeing that others are also imperfect, and
Yeah,
also the people we look up to probably as
yeah.
well. Most of the time, if children look up to people and
Mm,
this is my idol and so on,
yeah,
but we we learn that no one is perfect,
yeah.
and that gives oneself also a sense of, yeah, we can be who we are.
And
It's
it's very human also,
mm,
like also coming back to 1 second to the celebrity, it can be so dehumanizing because
mm,
they see you as gods and perfect, and we are just not.
mm,
And it's so, it's a relief. Oh, she's a human too, he's a human too, yeah, very much. And it's very liberating for the
mm,
others. So I, and the biggest one I like, Gabor
mm,
too. They are playing with their own
mm,
imperfection
mm,
from moment to moment. Like Gabor is the great example of that.
mm.
He is the one who is just putting his own, errors and
Yes, that's the beauty about him,
oh
I
yeah,
think.
yeah,
Being authentic, showing the
yeah,
world and everyone out there, um, what still he, with all his knowledge and
and
information
yeah,
and knowledge he is giving further to other people, still have some issues
of
to deal
course,
with in
yeah.
his life, and that's what we are.
And the reason at the first place we
Mm,
started to teach, at least I can say
mhm,
to myself, and it's the first question, what was the motivation, is to heal myself.
yeah.
And so I might be a teacher, yes,
Mhm,
because I teach, I don't know, 3 times a week at least. I have a method, yes, but I'm not perfect because it's still a
mhm,
process of
mhm,
the healing. And, you know, I needed that medicine. So
mhm,
just think of it like
mhm,
Gabor or Esther Perel, anyone who is in the
mhm.
conference, they themselves needed their own medicine. So they needed
Yes,
to create something.
yes.
But then they are maybe 2 steps ahead or 10 steps ahead, but
Mhm,
they still have issues. And I
mhm.
love the humanity in the big ones. And it makes me very, relaxed. Oh my God, he's not perfect. Oh, so good. Like, I am not too. I'm not neither. So
You're a singer.
yeah.
Can we hear something from
Oh
you?
yeah. Yeah, yeah. With pleasure. Is there any specific thing you wanna
Your favorite song?
favorite song? Elmentem a dárka, üres a kalitka, mindazt fudogálja, hazajő tavaszra. Ha tavaszra nem vár buzapiruláskor, ha még akkor sem jő, tudd meg, soha sem jő. Madárkám, madárkám, csináltatok neked gyémántból kalickát, ezüstből padlócskát. Énes adok neked zsemlecipót enned, zsemlecipót enned, moskotár innad. Nem szoktam kalickában lakni, kalickában lakni, padlócskán sétálni, zsemlecipót enni, moskotár inni. Csak szoktam ágról ágra menni. Hmm. Nie Ágról ágra menni, harmat vizet inni, harmat vizet inni, famugurát enni. Csak szoktam szépen énekelni. Kicsi testvérimnek jó szívet csinálni.
Thank you so much for that. It was very powerful. What meaning has it to you?
Well, it's one of my ars poeticas, like the main mission. It's about a bird who was put in a cage and was told to get food and golden cage and good wine. And she says, I'm not used to good wine and good bread and a golden cage. All what I do is flying free from branch to branch and singing and making good heart for my sisters and brothers. And so it's a very interesting state I became, because usually when I sing that I know what I do, but after this deep conversation with me, with you, between me and you and people, I feel that we touched so many deep layers of me, which made me beautifully, elegantly vulnerable too, which is good for singing. But then in the end, I decide I don't want to contain and swallow back my tears. So I know you see it, I just let it out because it's also part of who I am. And it might be something meaningful to experience for the listeners, that when we go deep, we find soft, vulnerable, teary stuff. But that's where the true gold lies.
Yeah.
The true treasures are.
It does, and you could feel it in your in your presence, in your voice. It's powerful in a way that's so authentic and sensitive at the same time. It has the high power intensity, but the softness.
And I'm talking to someone who is maybe grown up with Fairuz or with
Mm,
beautiful songs of the Arabian culture, which I was fan of, and so I'm always very moved by open ears and open hearts.
mhm,
So I really like this reciprocity in the singing too, that what I
mhm,
give you can feel, and what
mhm,
you feel you give me back somehow, because I felt the heightened attention in the room, so it gave
mhm,
me more wings to fly, in this
mhm.
in the songs. So in the song. So thank you so much for
Yeah,
this.
thank you for allowing this and allowing us to be part of it.
Mm,
What do you, Bea, do in your daily life to stay in balance, except singing,
singing,
maybe?
yeah. Well, I do a lot of movement.
Mm,
So it's like an unshakable, non-negotiable thing. I move every day.
mm,
Can it be yoga? Can it be walking in the nature? Sometimes high intensity training,
mhm,
pum, a lot of dance.
mhm.
I do work with ice, cold ice. So I
Oh,
jump into cold ice. So
okay.
it's pretty much the most layer you see on me, maybe one leather jacket, but that's
Mhm.
it. So I just
Okay.
gave
You
all my
like the
coats.
cold.
Yeah, I gave all my coats to charity because I don't
Mm,
wear them anymore. So I do that. I go to nature a lot.
mhm.
I am hearing the answers of my introverts inside me, so I
Yeah.
don't go out if I don't want to, and it's
Mhm,
very rare that I go. I spend time with my girls and with my cats
mhm,
and with my partners, so I'm surrounded with loving
mhm,
loving relationship. I also do meditation, breath work, yoga also, but it's
mhm.
part of my movement practice. And I just use all the grounding exercises I created for the program. So it was a
Yes.
big aha moment when I started to use my own exercise on me.
On you.
Because
Yeah.
sometimes when you innovate and create something, it takes time till you really see that it works. And
Mhm,
it works on me. And like my favorite exercise is I'm Bea and I'm here. Ah,
mm,
just this exercise that which is a statement of me
mhm,
being here and then reminding of the body connection. I do that a lot. I also, you know, treat, at least try to treat myself as a queen and my
mhm.
body as a temple. And it's not always perfect, as I'm
Yeah.
not perfect ever, but I learned how to take good care of myself,
Yeah.
my body and soul, and nurturing it with good
Mhm,
food, physically or
mhm,
mentally.
mhm,
So these are the main pillars, but lot of movement, lot of
mhm.
connectedness with my loved ones.
Very
Yeah,
nice. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
What about if you can speak now to everyone in the world?
yeah.
What is the one thing you would
Mm.
give them, tell them to do, implement in their life?
Mm. As I'm a voice teacher and a singer, I would emphasize the voice, the healing power of the voice in our
Mhm.
lives, which is there is this English expression is handy, so
Yeah.
but it's throaty, it's in your body, you don't need
Mm.
anything for that, so use your voice for conveying your true authentic message.
Yeah.
And the only way you can do that is to fully pack your words with emotions.
Mm.
Either you speak or sing, so pack fully those words with emotion so people can feel
Mhm.
what you are saying. How you do that? You connect to your own emotions from moment
Yeah.
to moment, because if you want to convey joy, you have to
Mm.
feel where joy is,
Yes.
and you have to know what to put in your voice to convey
Mhm.
joy. And how to do that? Well, to reconnect to your body from moment to moment.
Mhm.
So if I might say, just use your voice, because it's way more
Mhm.
than just saying words to another head.
Yes.
It's not just, information transfer,
Yeah.
knowledge. No, it's a body to body connection.
Mhm.
And we do know that if someone hears you,
Mhm.
this person judges you within 2 seconds
Yeah.
if this person gives you trust or not. So use your voice in a colorful, open way because it does much more to your
Mm.
connection than you think.
And you can always train under the shower.
Always. And in the car.
In the car.
Yes, yes, yes.
Very nice. Thank you so much,
Thank
Bea.
you so much.
It was so beautiful to sit here with you, to feel your presence, your energy, and also what you have given us today, your life experience and the training you do. I appreciate it very much. Thank you for the time you have gifted us today. And yeah, very much thank you.
Thank you. And thank you for your ray of attention, which was a very open and beautiful light. So I could myself could let myself go. So thank you so much. It was truly a joyful, meaningful moment for me. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.